Welcome to Revelstoke Responders. I'm here at the Search and Rescue base in Revelstoke. I'm joined by Linnea and Florian. Thanks for your time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before we dive into it, what brought you to Revelstoke? Linnea, we start with you.
Originally it was skiing for sure. And then I stayed for summer and liked summer as much as I liked winter. So it seemed like a good place to stay.
Nice. Yeah, myself, I was skiing in the Rogers Pass and area since I was 17. So when we stopped through here on our honeymoon, not our honeymoon, but when my wife and I got married, we were like, well, why don't we just move here? Because it's really a much nicer place than we were from. And so, ended up here. And, like you, found that summer is just as enjoyable, if not better, than wintertime. So, yeah.
The variety changes. That's what my partner always says. She loves skiing, but there's more to do in the summer, and it keeps you around. Yeah. And SAR is fully volunteer driven. So what keeps you in Revelstoke? How can you pay for the food and rent and homes?
Yeah. I think for me, I settled in Revelstoke and then had to leave for a little bit and come back, which I think is pretty common to get a job that I was interested in. But now I work for REVSAR BC and Avalanche Canada. So finding jobs that are the same skill set that I have, but also work for me. It's definitely, I've done a lot of things in Revelstoke, actually. I feel like I've bumped around a bunch, but
nice.
Settled here right now.
Perfect. Florian?
Yeah, when we moved here, I took a year off and built our house. And then that basically turned into more houses. So that's what I did before I moved here anyway. So I've just been basically building homes in the community for 15 years now. So
awesome. Yeah, it's and like you said before we started, there's so many different jobs. Like, can you name a few of what some people do, what else people do in town? Because SAR is just a collaboration of minds, right? So
everybody. I mean, in Search and Rescue here in Revelstoke, we've got a lot of ski guides, mountain guides, people that are very, very talented in the mountains and live that lifestyle. And then we've got everyone from like blue collar jobs, plumbers, electricians, carpenters. We've got a person that runs the ferry. We've got all sorts.
And like marketing, some people do marketing, some people do admin for lots of different businesses in town. It's really like across the board what volunteers do with SAR.
What do you think, and I'll ask you directly, what draws you to SAR, Search and Rescue? Why do you volunteer your time with this crew?
I think there's a bunch of benefits. I think definitely one of the major ones of why I started was to meet other people in the community, other than just at my workplace when I was new to town. It is really interesting as well what we do. There's lots of interesting training that can come with it as you spend more time doing SAR stuff. And it's nice to feel like you're giving something back in your community as well. I think for myself, when I started with SAR, it was specifically in the winter time, when people would be stuck or lost or injured in the backcountry, and the feedback is just immediate of you've been able to improve this person's day in some way or another. Yeah. What about for you?
Yeah, basically the community side of it is a big one. It seems like you talk to people in town, and most everyone has some form of giving back to the community, and knowing that there's a solid base of people that will come looking for you if you've got an issue when you're out playing. It's pretty nice, and so being a part of that is fantastic. But specifically for me, stuff that keeps me coming back is the training opportunities. We were fortunate enough. It wasn't a sponsored trip from Search and Rescue, but it was different Search and Rescue teams. We did the Grand Canyon last year.
Oh, cool!
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting showing up and the park rangers trying to give us a talk on safety and everything, and we're all standing there in full kit and stuff, and he's like, we can probably skip this. We're like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But it was really, really fantastic to do that, and we keep getting to explore, the local waterways and stuff with the search and rescue on the Swiftwater side, yeah, it's just really neat to connect with people that are really good at all their different interests. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as outdoor recreationalists, to be able to now have the skill set and increase your own skill set in those places that you like to play is also peace of mind, right? Mm. Have you had to use skills on your own trips yet? Have you had to get yourself out of trouble?
Like SAR skills? Yeah. I mean, I had to do that before I joined SAR. That's I feel like I've had to do that throughout my ski career. But yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff we go to is not necessarily very elaborate. It's like little stuff that gets missed, and I've made a lot of those mistakes myself, and sometimes I get myself out of them, and sometimes you don't, and you need some help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For sure, I use that type of skills all the time. I don't want to have to push the button, right, to call for help. So, but if you need it, you need it, and. When you first started with the organization, there's a big difference between improvised rescue and organized rescue. That was a big one for me to learn, because when you're going climbing with your friends, or whether you're on a river or something like that, there's this inherent risk level that you're okay with. And then if something happens, you deal with it immediately, and because you're the only people there. And so you have this tendency to do this improvised style of rescue, and you can have that minimal kind of planning in mind, but with search and rescue, it's a very different program, and kind of having to change the mindset and learn that you need to kind of slow down and take a look around and take it all in. Mm-hmm. It was just a different approach. But
perfect. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure it changes the way you head into the backcountry now and in your day to day. So going sort of, we've kind of touched on it a bunch, but lots of training opportunities. So what is the commitment for training that is asked of volunteers with SAR? Is there a commitment, or what opportunities for training?
Actual I think the right rules.
Yeah, it's quite minimal. I think it's only 20 hours a year.
Okay,
that's actually requested of the group, but that happens very quickly, right?
Yeah.
So there's the regular weekly training sessions, whether it's a Wednesday or Thursday night, depending on who's teaching. But there's opportunities to get into anything if you have experience. Whether it's in the water or with ropes or however, that's great. You can keep going with that. But then there's also plenty of opportunity to work with the CDFL team and get on the helicopters, for example. It's a bit of a process, but then also there's the rope teams. There's ski group, right?
Yeah, sled team.
Yeah, sled team's huge. Actually, that's something I'm not a part of. I don't have a machine, but you end up doing support stuff. If you're helping guys get ready to go up on the mountain. But that's a big part of what the team does is the sled access, because we have so many visitors that have issues or get in over their head, or the weather changes, or for whatever reason.
You mentioned CDFL.
Yep.
What does that stand for?
Class D fixed line.
There it is.
Okay, so that's off the helicopter, obviously, and help pluck people out of sticky situations.
It's just a human load underneath the helicopter, basically.
Okay.
Is a Class D load.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that new to Revelstoke SAR, or is that something that they've been doing for a long time?
No, actually, I don't know when it started.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
They've been doing it as long as I have been a part of SAR, which isn't that long, but definitely for the last 6 more years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was reading into it, and Revelstoke's had a SAR team since the 50s, and you look at the greater BC SAR teams, and I think there's 78 teams across the province. And then you look at the map, and you're like, oh, wow, there's a lot in sort of the southern interior BC, but then you zoom in, and you realize just how much space that you're covering and you're looking after. So do you have sort of an idea of, do you have fixed boundaries, or is it fairly fluid depending on situations in terms of your response distances?
Yeah, so we are activated by either the RCMP or fire ambulance. So sometimes it's just how it gets dispatched, as opposed to us having a fixed boundary where Sam and Arm's responding or we're responding. We I guess my sense generally is like we tend to be the responding agency, north, like past Micah, south to the ferry, and then like we'll respond pretty much to Sycamoose.
Okay.
But we also get called for mutual aid to help other teams with somewhat regularity, and that can be like Salmon Arm, Golden, Cusp, Caslow. Not every STAR team has the same kind of teams.
Right.
So especially like for our rope team, Swiftwater, CDFL, like these are all quite specialized teams. And if another STAR group, or even if we didn't have enough people available, we would ask another STAR group to come and provide mutual aid and work with us for things. And on that, there's also a whole nother world of STAR that we maybe do less, but we do, which is like just big ground searches and things that happen in the community. And that can be anything from like evacuating a town because of a wildfire, or looking for a senior who is missing persons. We've looked for aircraft that are missing. Those are just ones that I've been involved in, but it's not always like someone went out to have a fun day and they're having a bad time now.
Right.
It can be like all across the board.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome there's a very broad scope. I mean, there's a whiteboard across from me that lists all the different capabilities that you have. So would you say Revelstoke is fairly specialized in the grand scheme of things, or compared to other teams, maybe there's a few areas that you need support in?
I would say we're fairly specialized.
Like pretty.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty capable.
Yeah, like you say, we've got it's a very specific like group of people that are coming here to recreate, for example. But like you say, there's also regular community issues, whether it's a medical issue or whatever, that we run into. But as far as what we do and how the teams are divided up and kind of cover each other, it's quite specialized. Whether we're assisting the fire department or RCMP, if someone goes off the road into the water, or if they're down an embankment, or there's limitations on their side, so we can kind of fill in those gaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do either of you have a specialty, or an area that you prefer?
So many. The teams I'm part of with my STAR group is like the ski team. I'm a forecaster, so I'll forecast for us. The CDFL team. Ground search. I have minimal to no sled skills, so I'll come, but I'm more of a liability. Yeah, those are most of my teams, and like working my way to the rope team, I would say.
Nice.
For me, mainly Swiftwater.
Okay.
Got involved with that, and found it's really interesting and really fun and challenging. Lots of toys.
Yeah.
But lots of ski stuff in the wintertime as well. Some mountain bike, if we've got issues on something like Boulder or wherever else, mountain biking's a huge part of the town as well. So, those are my main ones. But again, just helping out if something's needed, We've pulled hunters off of the cliffs and stuff up towards Rogers Pass, and that was a CDFL support because, the crews are committed to the machine, and then there's a lot of ground stuff that needs happening too. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you say like CDFL or Swiftwater, I mean, it's not just the 2 or 3 people in a boat or in a helicopter. There's how many other people are at dispatch or in running IC, like incident command. So first off, how many calls averaging per year do you think you respond to as a whole department?
Like as for REVSAR?
Yeah.
Oh, Ren would know.
Yeah, Ren would.
I honestly don't know.
I think it's between 75 and 100.
Okay.
Is average.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of times we get spun up, and then we get called back because someone they see a canoe floating upside down the lake or something like that.
Yeah.
We go, and it's like it's fine because someone just didn't grab it.
Exactly.
There's a lot of that, but I think it's 75 to 100.
Okay.
That we were dealing with, and the majority of those would be sled calls in the wintertime.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing like the midnight pager goes off and you get here and get all fired up, and then they're like, oh no, we're okay. Like,
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll try to go back to bed. That happened to us last night even.
Yeah.
With the fire department.
Yeah. Thinking about specialty teams though, with for people who are interested in joining SAR, you don't have to have a specialty to come join SAR. And like I was saying that I don't have a lot of sled skills, but I will come to sled calls. You still come to the call, and the managers will utilize you where they can. There's tons of jobs in almost every call that don't have to be specialized, whether that is, dispatching or helping in the office or bringing stuff to like the right location or the helipad. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't want that to like turn people away. You don't have to have the skills already. Which is really cool about SAR, actually. They're willing to put you through the training and bring you to the teams that you're interested in and work with you to get experience along the way.
Great. So yeah, for someone, I mean, you kind of answered it, but for someone starting from zero, what process to get involved in the team?
Well, there's the official application online, and then after that, kind of coming to a training session, and speaking with the team leaders and seeing what you're interested in, and kind of going from there. You can start off with the GSAR program. So basically the ground search, learn the protocols and incident command and all the baseline type information that you got to kind of wrap your head around.
Yep.
And then from there, going out and just being a support person and kind of seeing how everything works. But there's always the first aid component and documentation component and everything else. So
there's always paperwork.
Always.
There's always some paper.
And that's the thing no one wants to do, but it's one of the most important pieces.
Yeah.
So, we're really lucky actually that we have some like really good support from Ren and some of our other members on that side.
Would you say there's certain things that would help someone along the way, like getting their OFA, their wilderness first aid, or having some climbing experience? Like, are there things that help people along the journey?
I think first aid is like, that's the like catch-all.
The baseline.
Good to have.
Yeah.
But I know that we have people who've like come to us without that and go through it here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, situational awareness and
the soft skills.
Yeah, stuff you pick up along the way as you're enjoying the activities that we do around here all the time. But as far as planning ahead to become a member, it just come chat and see where you're at, and if there's something that you don't have or that you'd like to work on, no problem. There's lots of opportunity. So yeah.
I mean, you mentioned on the raft trip all the gear and stuff. Like, there's some cool toys that you get to play with on the SAR team. Yeah,
we do. We do have quite a few toys. We have sleds. We have a side by side with tracks in the wintertime, wheels in the summertime. We've got a jet boat. We've got a Sea-Doo.
We have jet skis. Yeah.
There's all sorts. A couple rafts, cat rafts in the regular style as well. We've got some e-bikes, e-mountain bikes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Those are really, really handy. Actually, deployed all the time.
Yeah. For your own personal trip?
No, all good. There's a ton of cool stuff. All the ropes and everything. Like when you go to rope training in the evenings, like the amount of gear that ends up on the ground, you go, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's a bit overwhelming if you haven't seen it before. Where does it all go? But
Yeah, and really from good. The first aid perspective, like we have like all of the regular fancy toys, and then we also are certified with advanced protocols, so we can do pain management for people in the backcountry. Some of us who've done the training, which that's actually like pretty cool and unique as well.
Yeah. And that's extra training that I'm sure SAR would help you through if you...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are all like attached to our SAR group. So if that's something you're interested in, then you go to your advanced first aid, and eventually you can go into that.
Perfect. Yeah. What keeps you coming back to SAR? Why do you enjoy SAR? I
think it's fun. I like the people who are a part of it. I've met lots of different people through it, which I think just makes life more interesting for me. The situations are really interesting, and it's just like so needed, and we see that as our call volume increases as well. Is like we're bringing more people to town, Revelstoke's becoming a more popular place, and things just happen. Actually another one is like it's really interesting for someone who's like newer to town to be able to be around people who have grown up here or lived here their whole lives. Like their experience in the terrain and their knowledge of the terrain is like so fun to be able to get to hear about. And
You pick their brain.
yeah, totally.
Florian?
Just going on the call outs and learning more about the different areas that we have access to. Just this year we picked up on a new river that's local to us that I really hadn't known about at all. Thought it was just a creek that we couldn't use, and sure enough, it's fantastic. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, so that's really good. And yeah, just the training opportunities, to doing things that you're not used to, something that you like, a skill set you can develop. And yeah, it is actually very rewarding when you help somebody out, because usually if there's somebody who's injured in the backcountry, they're just so excited that you're there.
Yeah.
And it's like, finally.
Yeah, you're definitely value added in like the situations you're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different level of satisfaction, I guess, volunteering with SAR versus other volunteer positions I've had in the past. So yeah, it's cool. Good feeling.
Awesome. Yeah. Can neither of you speak on how, because like you said, you're all volunteers, it's volunteer driven. How do you get the gear and how do you get the support? Is there grant systems or is it mainly donation based?
Go for it.
Yeah. As far as the team, there's a heavy reliance on donation. So when we need equipment, there's a certain level of funds that are allocated every year, but it's all through a gifting, whether it's through community like community trusts, or whether it's Columbia Basin Trust, or like there's even Gesundheit. There's even like gaming grants and everything else. Like we have a person that pursues like income sources for search and rescue, but it's fairly spendy to keep everything up to snuff. Like ropes wear out, especially for the CDFL team. Like everything's timed out because it was used with aircraft, right? So everything needs maintenance, and so yeah, it's pretty taxing finances wise, I guess.
Yeah. And before we started to record, we talked about the growth of SAR and potential a new building.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Can we touch on that? Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah, we've got we're fortunate enough to get a property that's close to the airport. So
that's not easy in Revelstoke, you know.
No, it's really not. Finding a nice flat spot.
Yeah.
So it's been great. We worked with the CSRD so far to secure a spot, and just finalizing plans on how best to develop that space, and what's going to serve REVSAR well today and also 10-15 years down the road. So having to come up with a storage solution for all the equipment that we use. But also planning ahead for as the organization grows as well to match the demand. So yeah, it's been interesting so far.
Yeah.
But we're doing really well. Looking to break ground next year, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. We still have a bunch of fundraising that we're hoping to do.
Awesome.
For the building. So we have a fundraising team who's organizing different plans for events and things, but we'll be hosting things throughout the winter and the spring probably, and then also like approaching different agencies for funding and grants and things as well. Currently where we operate out of is a room in the RCMP building, which has been really good to us, but is just very small considering how many members we have and how much equipment we have. So we're kind of split between the RCMP building and a lot that I think actually like our member owns and just lets us use in the industrial park.
Okay.
So it will be really great to eventually have everything in one space. And have a place where we can actually have all our members. Like currently we can't fit all our members in this room. So, it'll be really good. I think it'll be a huge asset for REVSAR, for the community of Revelstoke, and just for the whole region that we respond to. And hopefully, as Flo said, that will set us up for success for many years to come.
Mm-hmm. And this will come out in the new year, 2025, but in the winter. So if you are looking to donate, there's a link on the website, revsar.ca.
Yes, there is. We should maybe also find it and say it.
Okay.
It's
we can
on,
find it.
It's
I'll
on
link
social media as well.
Yeah,
if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, there's a link in there as well.
Are there any, without talking too much about the people, and are there any incidents that stand out that were kind of memorable to you with like a positive outcome?
Okay, for me, like my first CDFL call where I was actually on the line had a really positive outcome and was it was exciting for me because it was like this bar that I'd reached in training where I'd done all the training and now I'm using it as a responder. That was a mountain biking call off of the ski hill. And the fellow thought he'd broken his femur. He had his buddies with him. So in many ways, it was also a very simple call. We were like able to put in within like 50 meters of him kind of things. Perfect. And then we had his friends there to be able to help move him to the opening to then extract that way as well. That's just like, that's super close to town. It's just off the ski hill. They don't necessarily, they're not always super far away.
Right.
But yeah, that's one that kind of stands out for me just as a personal like accomplishment, I guess.
Nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, for me, a positive one was pulling climbers off of Waterworld.
Oh yeah.
With the jet boat. They'd been there for quite some time and really didn't want to call for help. And then they're just like, we need it. So but it was dark by then. I think we got there by midnight. So Waterworld is a place where you pull up and you actually have to rappel down and then climb up. And it's over top of the lake. There's nowhere to go.
It's beautiful.
But
it's committing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was the elation on their faces when we just kind of went boop and rocked the boat up and they just hopped on and
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Are there any misconceptions about SAR that you hear often from the public?
Maybe that it's really difficult and that you need to be a physical specimen or you need to have a lot of experience in the mountains. And I think like that's really not the case. I mean, it helps, but it's really not necessary. So if that's a barrier in someone's mind, it shouldn't be. Just like you said, we can. There's all sorts of ways to bring someone up to whatever level they want to be at. But that'd be the only misconception I can think of really that there's like a high price of entry or something like that, and it's not the case. Yeah.
Sometimes when we have gone to get people, they think that they have to pay us. That has come up more than once for sure.
They look for the tap machine on the helicopter.
They're like, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's again like another thing that is just really interesting about search and rescue in BC is like, all of our rural backcountry search and rescue, it's volunteer based and you don't actually have to pay for it.
Okay.
So that's, it's interesting.
And again, talking about sort of the barriers to entry and stuff, what's the range of, first off, how many members do you think you have, average?
We're right around 100 members.
100 members? Wow.
102.
And do you know what sort of the age gap is? Because I'm sure there's some people who are just so calm and they're like, a bit more mature and they're like your ICs or...
It's been right from like, we've had some folks come at 18 kind of thing, all the way up to... I don't know.
60s.
Yeah. I would even say maybe higher at times.
Yep.
It's across a wide range.
Perfect. So again, anybody come knock on the door. Yeah. What's sort of the process of making that decision from the call comes in and it's, somewhere there's hiking trails, but what's that division between it's a ground search, people are going in by foot, or it's a helicopter extraction? Is there a criteria that people need to hit, or is it sort of just what's available and who's available?
It really depends on availability of if there's a machine available, and also like what is the risk factor to the team. I think it's often assumed that a helicopter is a sure thing and it's a super safe way to go, but it's probably the most risk that you can have, right? So sure, it's nice to have a skyhook, but if you can get out, and help someone hobble out, let's do it that way.
And we often send teams at the same time. Like we'll send our ground team, a sled team, and the helicopter, and you just see what happens. Like it's information gathering to help you gather, to build a plan later, and maybe the ground team will actually get there first because the person's up in a cloud and the helicopter can't get in there, even though they've flown over there. But
true.
Those clouds can be so troublesome.
Yeah, and they're everywhere.
There's one thing we haven't mentioned yet is also the heavy reliance in the wintertime that we have on the dog teams. The CARTA teams. Like that's fantastic. What a huge resource that they provide. When we have avalanche calls, I mean, they're the first in. So.
Yeah, and that's really unique to Revelstoke actually, that we have so many dogs, and that's really cool. Sorry.
And that's a whole different. Those dogs go through pretty intense training to be able to go into avalanche terrain, and they're trainers as well. Yeah.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right.
As to be a volunteer doing that. I mean, you're really giving a lot of yourself to have that happen, because you can't just grab your dog one weekend and go, oh yeah, we're gonna figure this out. It's like no, this is from a puppy right through, and it's huge.
If you were to join another first responder group, what first responder group would you join?
I'd be a firefighter.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
Probably also a firefighter, even just thinking from the volunteer perspective. Yeah.
It's also great. Lots of Wednesday night training and good people and fun big toys.
Shiny things.
Yeah. I mean, other than the technology, have you noticed the trend of rescue changing with improvements in technology in terms of, I don't know if you use drones or cell phone coverage or, Garmin inReaches. Have you noticed an improvement in accurate information when you get dispatched to a call?
For sure. I think that the use of inReaches and similar devices, and even cell phones where you can get reception, obviously, is a really big part of it. Wintertime, oftentimes you'll get the first bit of a telephone call and then someone's battery goes dead, right? That's classic. But then if you've got an inReach call, then at least you have a GPS location, and you can really, with the two-way texting and everything, it's been really sweet. Can really hone in on someone, just let them know, we're coming, we're going to be, a little bit of time, but relax, it's all good.
What a great text to get.
Yeah.
Help's on the way. The cavalry is coming.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a heavy reliance on helicopter, right? Like that's a change that we've seen. I think that's more and more becoming the way. But we just have to be mindful that that's not the only way to go. Like we've got a large pool of people to pull from to do things kind of old-fashioned way, because then we're not hindered by weather or or time of day or anything like that.
Do you collaborate with like visitor safety in parks often, or?
We have. Yeah. One example would be an aviation search that we did last year, in between here and Glacier, where we didn't know where the helicopter was, so we both came and looked for it. We definitely have in the past. Yeah. And I think aspire to more in the futures.
Yeah.
Right. And I know the RCMP has their own sort of division of search and rescue. Does Revelstoke's RCMP have search and rescue people, or do they rely heavily on you folks?
I think they rely fairly heavily on us to do that. However, we have collaborated before and many times in the past, but most recently was a missing person. We had RCMP equipment out, like boats, and we also an aircraft came from Vernon as well.
Oh yeah.
So we had multiple organizations working together to put a big search on. So there's all sorts of collaboration that way all the time.
We also have RCMP members who are like volunteers as well and come off duty.
Right. Yeah.
There's some crossover with the ski patrol as well that way.
Totally.
A lot, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's similar skills, right? So
yeah.
I think people just, and like you said, there's that kind of push to give back, or not push, but that desire to give back to your community. You know, I know Ross Goddard is a friend of many here, and what didn't he do? Wore a lot of hats before he moved out east.
First responder of
Selfish
Revelstoke,
guy. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've also, like, I'm part of the fire department now, paramedic, have done ski patrol, and someone always asks me, like, when are you going to sign up for SAR? I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be amazing. I would really enjoy it, but I don't, you know, there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
So, do you find, with calls, are you able to step away from work often, or do you kind of just come when you're available?
I think for me that has changed, like, with different jobs that I've had. Some jobs have actually, like, built it into the job that you can go as a first responder and give your time that way. Some jobs you don't have that. At this point with my life, I'm just like, come when I have time, typically. And yeah, it's an enjoyable enough thing, and I like doing it that I try to come fairly often. But that's like, I maybe come to, like, I don't know, 20% of the calls, maybe.
Right.
Like, it's still, like, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not hitting 75.
Yeah, I definitely feel guilty about not being able to come to more. But fortunately, I do have quite a bit of flexibility with work, and I'm able to respond when needed. But again, focusing mainly on swiftwater calls and, you know, where I feel like I could make a difference in a way. But yeah, it's difficult because everyone's so busy trying to just have a regular life in town, right? So
Yeah.
it's nice having that many members that we can spread out the load.
Yeah.
So
The swiftwater world is, like, completely foreign to me. That's just not a sport I picked up, not something I did it in Ontario on flat water and could roll a kayak at once in my life. But what's the swiftwater world in Revelstoke like? Is it pretty busy?
It is, yeah. We've got some really good whitewater, and we actually had a competition every year for the last, how long has the Paddle Fest been on? 4 or 5 years now, at least.
Probably.
So we run a section called the White Mile, which is a Class 4 section of the Illecillewaet River, right below the Box Canyon. So it's pretty exciting. It's good stuff. It's good waves, and there's also the Jordan River, which has a really big glassy pour over at the top. That's a Class 5 rapid, and the canyon beyond it is pretty spicy. So. But yeah, fortunately, the paddling community is full of people that are very, very good at what they do, and we very, very rarely have any issues. So, yeah.
Well, I've got nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys answered everything very well, and I appreciate your time. So, thank you very much. And again, we'll get the card up for donation, or at least to point people in the right direction should they feel inspired to donate to Revelstoke or their local search and rescue community, because I'm sure
absolutely.
they're all volunteer driven. And thank you again for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks.
Perfect.